Hi, good morning or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Today I'm joined with Carol. Carol works for our Ideal Homes mortgage departments, and we're going to go talking about mortgages. Now, Carol, simple question. If I was going to fund to get a mortgage through you to buy a property in Portugal, is it simple?
It is simple. It's probably one of the simplest ways of doing anything is what we try and do is pre-approve people first. Yeah. Obviously, that makes life a lot easier for everybody because once you know your budget, what you can get in a mortgage, it gives you that opportunity then to decide what type of property you can go for, because it's nothing worse than coming into a country blind, not knowing if you can get a mortgage, what funds are available to you. The banks are very easy to deal with here, and everybody has a different criteria of what they need. Some people put a higher deposit down, some want to see if they can get away with putting less down and having a bigger mortgage, but obviously everything depends on the individual. But
Would it be advisable to get a mortgage in Portugal compared to, say, whatever country you're living in? Is it better to get it in Portugal?
Depends. If you've got property that you want to obviously release equity in,
yeah,
you can use that and obviously fund a property here. I think it just depends on what country you're coming from. I think getting a mortgage here is probably, because obviously the banks will see you're purchasing a property here, so you have an asset here.
Yes.
I mean, I deal with a lot of people that have properties or might have 3 or 4 properties that they rent out and they have an income off. And they think by having that and they've got the income coming off it, it would help them buy a property here. To a degree, but then it just shows as 3 mortgages that you've got in the UK, plus probably the house that you're living in. You might have a car loan and that. And these are all things that the banks will look at as obviously not an advantage to getting a mortgage here because these will go against you.
And what about loan to value? What's age, for example? What's the maximum age now?
Well, what they used to be when I first started doing the mortgages, it was up to the age of 80. They've now reduced it down to the age of 75. So obviously that's affected quite a few people because they thought they could go up to about up to 80 years old. The difference as well being, I mean, we have got a lot of American people who are buying over here now and investing into Portugal. And obviously the criteria are completely different here to what it would happen in over in America. I did work in America and did my real estate license there for 4 years. So I have a bit of an understanding of what they're looking for, which obviously helps now that I'm working with mortgages in Portugal. I can listen to what they've got to say and I can sort of work with them and explain to them how different we work. But it's still an advantage to them because obviously looking at our rates compared to the rates in America, there's a hell of a difference. You could get a mortgage here on a variable. We work with the Euribor rate, which is set by the banks, what they call the Euro interbanks, and they work together with the rates, and obviously they fluctuate slightly, but they are keeping them reasonably low. And the banks what they do is they put a spread on. Now, if you look at the spread as being their interest, that is where they come to the figures that they come to when they do these simulations. So you could say at the moment, I'm getting mortgages coming through with the Euribor rate plus the spread at 2.8, 2.9, and if you go for a fix from about 4.2 upwards. So it's still viable to get a mortgage here because it's still a lot less than what you would pay in a lot of the other countries.
And would you advise going variable or fixed?
Here, definitely variable. I know when I speak to a lot of American clients, they just immediately ask for a fixed rate, and I say to them, hang on, it's not like America. Here, it's better to go for a variable. The reason for that is you can fix it at any point. So you're not stuck in with something that you can't change. So say you go to buy your property, within a few months you think to yourself, oh, hang on, the rate's going up. I think I'd like to fix it. It's a simple phone call to the bank, or we can put obviously into the bank if you wanted me to work on your behalf, that's fine. But we can actually ask them to turn it into a fixed rate. And they will come back with a simulation with an offer. Right. So there's never a restriction on it. But if you try to go from a fixed to a variable, that's not possible. So as I always say to people, go for a variable, you can fix it at any point. and it's not that expensive to fix. If you have a variable, say that just hypothetically you wanted to pay 10,000 off your mortgage, it would work out about 50 euros to do that, plus obviously a bit of stamp duty at 4%, so it works out about 52 euros just to pay off 10,000 off your mortgage.
So at any time you can pay
Yeah,
off
and
without
it's another
minimal...
and the other advantage is, if you think about it, you've got a good rental return on these properties that you purchase in Portugal, because we are a resort, a holiday place where people come for holidays. It's also good for investment. We don't really have a lot of manufacturing, so we rely on tourism and investment in this country. So, people like the climate, which, as you know, it's an amazing climate. We have pretty much 300 days of sunshine. And to be truthful, I've been here a long time, and there's very few days I don't see blue sky. No. And there's nothing nicer than waking up to blue sky.
And as I know, in the property market itself, from my side, is rentals are at the highest demand every year, and you just cannot get enough rentals. You try and book something in August, in July for August, it's impossible. No. They've all gone.
Exactly. But the good thing about it is, I think as well, which people tend to forget, we're not just a summer season. We have, from September onwards, you've got the golfers come over, because they're not going to want to golf when it's very high temperatures, because obviously it's not fun going around a golf course when there's high temperatures. Look, we can get up to 40 degrees sometimes. So they come and obviously do their golfing from about September through, and then you get people that want to get away from the cold weather and come here for the winter months, because obviously we have very mild winters. So, you can actually rent your property out all year round. Obviously it won't be as high as it would be in the summer, but it's still a good return.
What about, for example, you work for Ideal Homes, and you do the mortgage side.
I do.
You don't have to buy a property through Ideal Homes to get a mortgage through Carol. You can go direct to you, and you can anywhere in Portugal.
That's right. Ideal Homes is really an umbrella with several departments in it, and one of them is obviously the mortgages. Obviously we've got property sales and rentals, so we actually cover quite a wide area, and we can actually are a one-stop stop, because that's a bit difficult to say, a one-stop stop.
A one-stop property shop.
So you can literally go from purchasing a property and get it looked after from the start to the finish. So obviously that takes a lot of pressure off you as well. I work from the north Portugal right the way down to the south, so I can get a mortgage for anybody. You don't have to be purchasing through Ideal Homes, and the advantage is I can take that pressure out of going from one place to another place to another place to try and find the mortgage that you're looking for. I can do all that for you. So you fill out an application form, really. It's an assessment form, and it assesses, obviously it's based on income and expenditure. They don't want any paperwork, so there's no worries about sort of handing over all your pay slips and things like that. At the beginning. This is just a simulation to give you an indication of what you can afford and what they would offer you in a mortgage.
And question, how much does it cost?
Well, it doesn't cost the person that's purchasing anything. It's a free service, because obviously I know in America that they have to pay for the service. Here you don't. We do that to obviously help you, and obviously hopefully you will use me as a mortgage broker, and I get obviously sort of help through the banks giving us obviously some commissions for working and obviously putting mortgages their way.
And you basically work with all the banks in Portugal, so the Bank of Portugal?
Yeah, we do. And the good thing about it is that every bank has different criteria. So each bank will say maybe they might want 40% down, because obviously one of the things which I think needs to be noted, we have to have life insurance here. It doesn't matter whether you've got life insurance in your own country, you have to take out life insurance here with a mortgage. Now, banks have actually changed it slightly, so you can get away with sort of like maybe putting 30% down, some it's 25%, some it's 40%. Every bank is slightly different without having to have life insurance. But we also work very, very closely with a company which the banks have accepted that will also offer very good rates on life insurance. So, you have to look at the whole picture at the end of the day, what suits you with regard to a mortgage. Sometimes having the life insurance works out better than maybe one of the other offers. So it might pay you to get the life insurance because you might be paying a lower amount per month. So, you know,
It does vary.
each person is an individual. Every bank looks at the person, and there is movement. There's always a bit of movement.
What about if you, for example, were buying a property off plan in process of being in construction, and you obviously will put probably a 20 or 30% deposit down, and the mortgage you get a pre-approval, and then after, let's say, 2 years, the construction's finished, the mortgage is then put into place.
Yeah,
at the end.
you can't do a mortgage on something that isn't really complete. I mean, we are working at the moment to try and work with some of the banks to see if there is a way around it that we can do it, but obviously that's not 100% at the moment. But once it is, obviously we would let our clients know who are purchasing in a development. But no, the mortgage is basically, I always say to people as well, look at where you're going to be when that property is complete, when you're ready to take that mortgage out. It's no point looking at where you are today, because maybe in 2 years' time you might find that you've got loans that will be paid off, you might have a house that's going to be mortgage free, you might be free of the children, and then also you might maybe due for your pensions, which, I mean, you know, that
Things
gives you a...
change.
Yeah, everything's changed. So I think when you are looking to do an assessment for a mortgage, look at where you'll be at the time when you're buying it, not where you are right now. And this is why it's always good to get this pre-approval, because you can say, well, I'm going to be earning this, I'll have this amount of money then, I'll be able to put more down as a deposit, and then you will see where you will be at that time. I mean, none of us have a crystal ball, so who knows what tomorrow holds, but always look at where you'll be when you're ready to take that mortgage out, because that's what's going to be reflecting to the banks when you're ready to take that mortgage.
So, but when you apply to the different banks, you'll obviously have different, they'll come back with different offers.
Oh,
so
of course,
you're probably bouncing off one to another
so
to get the
that's
best.
why we submit to more than one bank. You know, we submit to more than one bank purely to make it things that we can offer you and variations to what's on offer, because none of us know, as I've said, where we'll be at that time, and we might find, well, actually, we're going to go with that bank now because they're giving us a better rate. We don't need to have life insurance, and we can actually now put down a bigger deposit. So by putting down that bigger deposit, it's going to give you an opportunity then maybe to pay less per month. You don't need the life insurance. So there's lots of anomalies that all need to be looked at when you're ready to take that mortgage out.
Well, I think Carol's explained it very simply.
I hope so.
Very. I mean, it sounds simple to me.
Yeah, it is.
Give me figures, I'm useless. I'm useless sort of things. But I can look at it and see what you're saying and think, well,
That's what we're here for. We're here to try and take that pressure off you and obviously give you certain things that maybe you haven't thought about and maybe take into consideration when you're ready to purchase a property here. But to be honest, it's straightforward. The returns are high. It's a beautiful country to live. The people are great. You know, food's fantastic and the wine. And, you know, I have a quality of life here, which I wouldn't have if I was back in the UK. So I came here 21 years ago and I have no regrets. You know?
I think we can all say that.
Yeah, I know. You hear people say it and you think, oh, no, there must be downsides, but I haven't found one yet.
Anybody who wants to contact you can get you on email?
Yes, they can get me on email at carol@idealhomesmortgages.com. Obviously...
the office number?
Oh, now you've asked me, John.
289 434 513.
There you go. Anyway, most of it's on our website.
That will all come up at the bottom.
It'll come up at the bottom.
Your website, your email will come up, the phone number will come up.
And John's much better at doing this than I am.
Oh, no.
But I am on the end of the phone, and if you've got any questions or queries or anything that you feel, you know, you're concerned about, just give me a call.
Lovely.
You know, I'm more than happy to talk to them.
Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
And I hope that's helped you. And if you're looking to buy a property with Ideal Homes, we'll help you. If you're looking to get a mortgage for buying a property in the Algarve, even without Ideal Homes, shame on you, but we'll still help you. So contact us, and we look forward to seeing and hearing from you. Bye for now.
Bye.